Not a single studio wanted to make Remember the Titans until a Bruce Willis movie did $500 million at the box office. Remember the Titans turns 25 years old this month, so here are some things I bet you never knew about it. Remember the Titans is based on the true story of 3 high schools combining into one integrated school in Alexandria, Virginia in 1971, T.C. Williams High School, and how the school's all-star all-city football team then went 13-0, becoming the number 2 team in the country. According to locals, that winning football team socially integrated the community, as we saw in the movie. But how did this story end up becoming a film in the first place? In the mid-1990s, journalist turned screenwriter Gregory Allen Howard was hired to write a biopic about Muhammad Ali. His script would eventually become Ali, starring Will Smith. But when he finished it, he became disillusioned with Los Angeles and decided to move elsewhere, picking Alexandria, Virginia. As Howard told ESPN in 2020, he was struck by how integrated the city was. So I started asking questions about how is Alexandria so socially integrated? And several locals told him, "You won't believe this, but a high school football team integrated our city however many years ago." So he started researching the story and he learned about T.C. Williams High School. And he met with coaches Herman Boone and Bill Yost, who allowed him to tell their story. First, he tried pitching it to the Hollywood studios, but no one wanted it. The studios told him, "We can do it as a football story, but you have to take this race shit out." So then he went back and wrote the entire script on spec. It should be noted here that Howard changed and dramatized the real story thoroughly. He condensed the timeline, he made many of the football games more tense, including the championship game, which in real life the Titans won in a blowout. Also in real life, all the other teams they faced were also integrated. Coach Boone's Gettysburg run and speech was an entire fabrication, and Bertier's car accident took place after the state championship game. However, the line Bertier's mother says to Big Julius in the hospital, "Tears won't make my baby walk," that was what she actually said in real life. Howard wrote almost the entire screenplay, but he couldn't come up with a title. He considered generic titles like All for One, but knew it had to be better than that. Then he got to the last page and was writing Cheryl's final voiceover. And he said, quote, "If you're a writer, you realize it's not really writing, it's listening. And that little girl was talking, and she spit out these words in my brain, and there was my title. I didn't have a title until the last page, that last bit of voiceover." Anyway, writing the full Remember the Titans script is what made all the difference in Hollywood. Producer Jerry Bruckheimer was blown away by Howard's screenplay and came on board. He said, "When I read it, it was so emotional that I had tears in my eyes a number of times." And director Boaz Yakin was also immediately drawn in emotionally. The producers then tried to pitch the script to Disney twice and were rejected again. So they thought, let's attach a big star. So Howard and Bruckheimer approached Denzel Washington. At first, he was reluctant because he wasn't sure if he wanted to do another sports movie after the hurricane. But he gave the Titans script to his wife, Pauletta Pearson, and she loved it, so Denzel agreed to do it. But he did have script notes on every single page. Then, over July 4th weekend, 1998, Bruckheimer and Disney scored a big hit with Armageddon. So producer Chad Oman called up Disney on Monday, July 6th and said, "You made enough profit Saturday morning to pay for all of Remember the Titans. It's important. You have to do it." Disney called back a day later and told him, "Okay, you can do it for $20 million, but cut out all the swear words." Howard's script was originally R-rated and included a lot of curses and N-words. At first, he was frustrated by having to cut them out and didn't think the movie would work with a PG rating, but Jerry Bruckheimer argued that it would, and Howard later agreed that it made no difference. Then it came time to find the rest of the cast. Casting director Ronna Kress recalled that they had just 7 weeks to cast the movie. Donald Faison says he was working out a lot at the time because he didn't have anything else to do, and so he wore a tank top to the audition to show off his body, which helped him land the role of Petey. He said he ran into Anthony Anderson at the audition, who was going out for Coach Hines. But Gregory Allen Williams ultimately played that part. Hayden Panettiere was 10 years old when she auditioned for Cheryl, and she said she felt better about that audition than any other in her career since. There was a bit of a struggle on casting Ryan Gosling in the movie. Gosling had been on the Mickey Mouse Club, but was not a well-known actor at the time. Some of the producers were concerned he didn't look like a football player, and then there was an issue with him getting a work visa because he's Canadian. But director Boaz Yakin really wanted him, so they made it happen. The cast and dozens of extras recruited from high school and college football teams then went through real football training camp ahead of filming. Ethan Suplee and Craig Kirkwood both recalled how miserable it was, but Donald Faison said it did get them into good shape for the film. Former Alabama and Dallas Cowboys running back Derek Lassick served as the film's football advisor. Then Disney ended up setting the budget at $30 million, and Remember the Titans went into production in October of 1999. They shot the movie in Georgia. The home games were filmed at Paulding County High School in Dallas, Georgia. Practice scenes were filmed at Clarkston High School. Some of the championship game was filmed at Sprayberry High School's football stadium in East Marietta. They also filmed at Etowah High School in Woodstock, Henry Grady High School, and Druid Hills High School in Atlanta. And at Berry College in Rome, where they filmed the Gettysburg scenes. That landmark moment in the movie was one of the first things they filmed, but in Howard's original script, Coach Boone's big speech just took place on a football field, but producer Chad Oman had the idea to do it at Gettysburg and for Boone to wake the whole team up. The whole cast was thrilled to work with Denzel, by the way. Craig Kirkwood said it's like Black Jesus, and he didn't disappoint. Ryan Gosling said there wasn't a whole lot of acting involved from us because when Denzel is looking at you and he's yelling at you, you're scared. And you just do what he says and you don't have to act really, he just makes you sort of be there. Hayden Panettiere recalled Denzel making funny faces at her off camera to try and get her to laugh. Craig Kirkwood was sick with the flu when shooting the championship game, but shooting that game-winning touchdown made him feel like he really won the title. Filming wrapped in December 1999. In test screenings, the hospital room scene scored poorly with audiences, but the producers later learned that people rated it poorly because they were so sad. Disney then went all out for the movie's premiere. They held it at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, and it was one of the biggest movie premieres of all time. Yakin recalls they filled it up and had like 5 drive-in size screens. They filled it with 30,000 high school students. I remember jets flew overhead and there were people parachuting down into the stadium. Howard says they bust in all these high school football players from all over and told them to wear their jerseys. It was breathtaking. Remember the Titans then opened on 1,865 screens in the US on September 29th, 2000. It did $20 million opening weekend domestic, landing at number 1, before going on to gross $137 million worldwide total, which is more than 4 times its budget. Critics were actually mixed on the movie, finding it inspirational but predictable. Today, 72% of the 137 reviews assessed by Rotten Tomatoes are positive. And likewise, director Boaz Yakin had mixed feelings about it for years. Yakin was an indie B-movie action director and was torn about this being his most popular work. He said, "It always kind of bothered me, and it took a year to reconcile its success." But audiences loved it. It got a rare A+ cinema score in theater exit polls. Denzel won Best Actor, and the movie won Best Picture at the NAACP Image Awards. And the movie had lasting success on DVD, leaving a large cultural impact. Jerry Bruckheimer says the movie is shown as a teaching tool in schools, and the movie is now considered to be one of the best football films of all time, making lists created by Fandango, USA Today, The Score, Men's Journal, and Esquire. But maybe its most lasting element is its music. The film's theme, Titan's Spirit, composed by Nathan Rabin, was used as the Lakers intro music in the Kobe years. Obama used it during his 2008 campaign at the Democratic National Convention and during his inauguration. It's been played at the Olympics and in stadiums worldwide. The movie's soundtrack, which also includes Ain't No Mountain High Enough, ended up going platinum. Faison's TV show Scrubs would later reference Remember the Titans. In the season 6 episode My No Good Reason, JD has a fantasy where his former high school bullies are wearing T.C. Williams letter jackets. And yes, that's Joe Manganiello. On the movie's legacy, Gregory Allen Howard said, "How you can work together racially. That will last, and that's why it plays to even this day." He says you can spot a classic if after 30 years after it was made, it doesn't feel dated. Titans doesn't feel dated. It's a classic. Among other projects, Howard would go on to co-write the 2019 Harriet Tubman biopic Harriet, starring Cynthia Erivo. He passed away from heart failure in January 2023, one day shy of his 71st birthday. T.C. Williams High School today is known as Alexandria City High School, but sadly their football team is not nearly as good as it used to be. And there have never been talks of a sequel or TV adaptation of Remember the Titans. Thanks for watching. If you've made it to the end of this video, drop a strong side, left side in the comments. And don't forget to check out my newsletter for the latest movie news and deep dives.